Hello, bonjour.
Welcome to Pardon Our French with Quincy and Justine.
We are both back from our trips, Oktoberfest and my offsite.
Indeed. And we've had quite the busy weekend.
Oh yeah, it's been a packed weekend. And it feels like we're finally back in Paris. Like, I don't know why, but I feel like since summer, there's always been things going on.
Yeah.
And this was like a fully out in Paris weekend.
And the weather is so nice. So
Yes.
that also encourages you to get out instead of staying in your apartment.
Yeah.
So I feel like we were doing a lot. On Saturday we did the brocante.
We spent a lot of time in the 9th.
Yeah, we did.
We did a brocante on Saturday. We got coffee at a new place. That's really cute.
And a brocante, for those who don't know, is sort of like a flea market.
Yeah, like vintage / garage sale /
Yeah, some fancier stuff, some less so.
Yes. And we both got rings.
We did.
I got 2 rings that I'm obsessed with. And they cost a bit of money, but they are real gold.
It was a 1 for $55 or 2 for $100. So we said that she saved $10.
I saved $10. And Quincy got a gorgeous statement ring.
I did.
For $10, which was wild.
That was a very easy decision.
You spent the $10 I saved.
Yeah. Exactly. I feel like Lucy and Ethel. We saved $10. What are we going to spend it on? Yes.
But it was really nice. It was gorgeous weather.
Mm-hmm.
And then we both went home to change and get ready for a very long night out, which was quite fun, let me say.
Yes. It's our first big girls' night out, I feel in a while.
In a really long time.
So I had a blast.
And it was pre-planned.
Yes.
It's quasi pre-planned because I reserved this restaurant 3 months ago, and I was like, I'm reserving something in October, so we have something to look forward to.
Yeah.
And then we kind of planned after that.
First of all, I get to this restaurant and I'm like, okay, I sit down, or I'm about to sit down and I go up to them and I'm like, so the reservation is Justine Fongé, whatever. And they're like, who? and and I was like, Fongé Justine?
Yeah.
And they're like, we don't see that on the.
All right, I guess.
And then they're like, don't worry, we'll make you a table. So they make a whole big deal out of it and sit me down. And then Lucy texts and it's like, is this the location? And I was at a completely wrong restaurant.
No. And then I'm it was also my fault because I'm telling you yes.
Yeah, Justine says yes, you're at the right place.
But because I was watching this couple in the metro about to get robbed. And I was so on edge. I was like, I can't respond right now. But I'm trying to make sure these poor people don't get robbed by these people, trying to trick them.
Yeah.
So if people are in the metro showing you things in different languages and saying I'm trying to go here and repeatedly saying, where do I go? How do I get there? Are you sure? Just leave it alone.
Yeah.
Be you get off and you go the other way. I don't know what else to tell you. Bye.
Yeah.
Don't touch my shit.
Yeah.
But you finally made it, and I actually caught up with you on the sidewalk. So
that's true.
But yeah, we went to this place called Brasserie des Prés, and it's part of a group of restaurants called Nouvelle Garde, and they have a couple in, I think, one in the 10th and one in the 11th.
Okay, yeah.
And I had been to the one in the 10th before. Mm-hmm. Wow, words are hard. And it's really nice. It's called Dubio. Super cute. And I was like, okay, let's try this new location.
Yeah. Basically, the restaurant is back in this kind of hidden away street, side street. And it has a bunch of these cute restaurants. And it just feels very convivial and fun.
It's in the 6th.
In the 6th, yeah.
And I'd always wanted to eat on that street because it's so freaking cute.
But so what do we think?
I wasn't sold.
Yeah.
The food was fine. It
Service
wasn't too...
was slow.
Yeah.
So slow.
We asked for things multiple times and they weren't coming. And then they seemed really annoyed when we went up to go pay because we had another reservation to get to.
Yeah.
But the overall place is very cute.
Yeah.
There's 3 floors.
3 floors. It was kind of the bottom is the restaurant. Then there's a mixed kind of restaurant drinks. And then the top floor is kind of more intimate little booths where you could get a drink and be on a date,
cute.
And
the cocktails are really good. They have their house creations and then normal classics. Mm-hmm. I think they only had 2 mocktails on the menu, but I'm sure they could maybe make different ones.
Yeah.
But
then we headed back across the river. And we had a reservation at this place called Le Syndicat. Which is good to know that they take reservations, which is really nice because a lot of the cocktail bars in Paris are so small that you get there and it's a huge line and you just You just waste a lot of time.
And you really have to take a reservation for this.
Yeah.
For this place because it is really small and they rarely take walk-ins.
Mm-hmm.
But their cocktails are super good, like super different.
What was the one that Lucy got? I think they were trying to name it like
called Wet White T-shirt. And it's like, oh, you mean wet T-shirt? What contest?
Wet White T-shirt.
And immediately they're like, that's the strongest drink on our menu. Are you sure you want to start with that? And she's like, why do I always do this to myself?
Yeah, she's like, well, I guess I am.
It was like a herbal buttery. It came in this really tall, tiny little glass with an olive.
Maybe we'll put it as one of our reference photos on our Instagram.
With Lucy's face, like, what the fuck is this?
Yeah.
And then I got 2 drinks there. One was like a cognac, like toasted coconut coffee drink, which sounds super weird, but it was delicious.
Yeah.
And then the other one was just kind of like this herbal fruity, like something I downed in like 2 minutes. It was probably
because we so after that we moved on and we went to Les Bains, which is a place I've been coming to since I lived in Rennes in high school. We would come to Paris and we would go to Les Bains when we were like 17.
And I had never gone with you.
Yeah. It's a hotel that also has like, a restaurant, a bar, and then a club that opens up at midnight.
Yeah.
And the bar, I don't know, the architecture of it is really cool.
It's a really cool place.
Yeah.
I actually learned about it because I'm like following Victoria Paris like hardcore lately, and she stayed there quite a few times in Paris, and I was like, that's cool, I'm gonna follow it. And I saw on their story that they had an event on Saturday, and I was like, we should try this place. And Quincy was like, I love that place. Yeah. I was like, how come we've never heard of this?
It was like one of the first places I ever came in Paris.
It was really cool. Yeah. I have to say, for France, it was one of the few places I've been to where people feel more mingly, like they're there to like meet new people.
Yeah.
It was also one of the first times we went out clubbing in a place where that was kind of the ambiance for me, like in a while.
Yeah.
So it was funny to see like groups of like guys, groups of girls, and like kind of like people
making eyes
and trying to like see who they're gonna chat to.
Yeah.
Of course, we had creepers come up to us, but that's not out of the usual.
Yeah, but it's a really cool space. They actually have this whole indoor smoking terrace, which I think is hilarious.
Yeah.
And like at one point there were so many people in there. Oh yeah, Lucy went in there with this guy she was talking to, and then apparently he was like, why didn't your friends come? And she was like, I don't think they could breathe in here.
They're like, they have asthma.
Yeah.
Yeah, because it's like they have a weird, not a
it's
roof,
like a glass
but
box.
It's a glass box, and then on top is like one of those sun covers.
Yeah.
But it's like fully, rolled out, so you're like hotboxing yourself in tobacco. Like, ew, no thanks.
Yeah. And so we were just chilling on the inside.
Yeah. And saw this man fully pick up a phone call in front of the speaker.
Yeah. Like right next to the speaker. We're like, my guy, you're not going to be able to hear anything.
Why are you standing there taking a phone call?
Yeah. It was fun though. And that place, so the drinks are a bit more expensive. Alcoholic drinks are 18.
Yeah.
And then my mocktail was 10, I think.
Yeah.
The first bartender who we thought was great, he made me a really nice mocktail. But then unfortunately, this other bartender
kept wanting to serve us. I don't know why.
Yeah, he really was aggressive. We were like trying to flag down the other one. And he kept like popping his head in and being like,
what can I get you?
Yeah, exactly. And I was
hello?
Like, not you, sir. Because he would just like straight up just pour me a ginger beer and then be like, that's $10. I was like, no.
Yeah. He's like, here's my mocktail. It has ice and mint. Like,
I don't know. I just didn't appreciate it because I think that like, I don't know. I just appreciate when people put as much effort into making a mocktail than a cocktail.
Herbal. It was like spicy and ginger. It tasted kind of like bell peppery.
And like basil a little bit.
Yeah, it was really nice. So we stayed there for quite a few hours, and it was really fun, just kind of popping different corners.
Yeah.
The DJ was great.
So he was such good music. God,
I was time of his life.
Yeah, he was so funny.
And then we went downstairs to the actual like club session. It is air conditioned, which I appreciate about a club.
And we went down there probably at like 12:31.
No, it's like 1:30.
Okay, we went down there at 1:30.
It opens at 12. And then you're like, it's early. And I was like, it's midnight.
Well, because I was like, Justine, all the hot people are still up here.
I was like, I want to dance. And then,
they do have a swimming pool downstairs. Because, so les bains
means like the baths.
Yeah.
So it's like, a bath, but it's a swimming pool.
Yeah. It was like roped off, but it was cool to see.
Yeah, it was cool. It makes it a cool ambiance. You have like the blue reflection.
Yeah.
And then the lights are all like red and pink, and there's disco balls, and there's a bar downstairs as well.
Yeah.
They only do like classic cocktails. They don't do anything.
The drinks were
like,
actually cheaper downstairs.
They were, and way stronger. Oh my God. And the music was okay. They have different DJs, I think, depending on the night.
Yeah.
It was pretty crowded. I would say I was feeling overwhelmed being in a walking traffic area.
I think we definitely preferred the upstairs part because like the music was still really good and people were dancing upstairs and stuff. So I think that
it just closes at 2, which is good to know.
Yeah. And then the downstairs closes at
5.
Yeah.
So spend as much as you can upstairs, then go down to the club.
Yeah.
It's a really cool place. We will be frequenting it. Yes. Thank you.
Kind of new favorite spot.
Yeah.
That we were like reminded of. So
anywho. Something to add to the list.
Yes.
So tell us about Oktoberfest. How did that go down?
Well, first of all, Berlin was, I loved it. Like, I liked it so much more than I thought I would.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I kind of had this view of it where it was going to be, like, dark and, like, serious and grungy. Yeah. And parts of it were like that, but, like, it still had a very nice ambiance and still had a charm to it.
Mm-hmm.
And so we were staying more on, like, the east side, actually. And the one thing is that it is, Berlin is a large city like London. And so you basically have to take, the metro everywhere or an Uber. So in the, 2.5 days that we were there, it's kind of hard to like orient yourself.
Mm-hmm.
But we did a lot of fun things. We stumbled upon what is known to be the smallest disco in the world.
So cute.
And it's basically like a phone booth and you can pick any song you want for like €2. And you go in, there's a disco ball, there's all these different lights that you can put on. And we played Benny and the Jets.
Yes.
Obviously. And it was just like an instant mood boost. And then you just walk out and you go along with your day.
To a disco song.
It was great.
With a tiny little disco ball.
It was so cute. It was so cute. And we went to a really cool cocktail bar the first night we were there. They had all these like really cool presentations. Like Lucy got the like Chanel No. 5 and it was, you poured it out of like a little perfume bottle into the glass and it was like rotating on this mirror. It was quite cool. And then Oktoberfest was the second night. First of all, we get out and it's this cafe. It's not like just this event. And so we got out and no one was in their dirndls.
Their dirndls.
And Lucy and I were like,
do you guys not do that here?
Yeah. In general, Lucy and I thought that Berlin could use a bit more signage in terms of like just general direction could have been good. So like if that place had been like Berlin, Oktoberfest in the back, that would have been nice. But then we did see someone, we were like, okay, we're in the right place. And it was an adorable little spot. They had this whole lake and you could actually take out a little boat.
That's so cute.
It was very, I wanted to take the boat out like at like later in the night and they were like, it's closed.
Oh,
and I was like, but I'm sober. Let me go in. I'll drive, I'm the sober sister. But it was really fun. So we actually got like randomly seated at this table that was quite up front, right in front of the band. And so we had incredible seats. We were seated with these 2 girls, one from South Africa, one from Spain, and then this group of Germans. And
sorry, I'm just thinking of that.
There was a whole
from Hamburg.
Yeah. So these Germans got so drunk, and at one point, one of them was talking to Lucy, and she asked him a question about like, because he had said, "Oh, I'm so sorry that like my friend isn't making a move," because she had been talking.
And she's like, "Which friend?"
Yeah, she goes, "Which friend?" And he goes, "I'm from Hamburg. How about you?" And then she was like, "We've had this conversation." And he goes, "I'm so sorry."
I'm very drunk.
Yeah. But it was really fun. We danced on tables. We sang to all these German songs. And I, did the whole non-alcoholic beer thing. And of course, they brought it out in like a bottle. And so it was very obvious to everyone because everyone else had the, the big jugs. And so they had smaller, like a 1/2 pint jug on the table that was holding the silverware. So I just took it all out and then poured my beer in there. I was like, I will participate in this.
Make it work.
Yeah. And it was super fun. And it was just like a lot of dancing. There was at one point a like event-wide conga line that I just could not bring myself to join. I was like, this is the whitest shit I've ever seen. I was like, I can't do it. But the rest of it was so fun. And like we actually did start the dancing because we were up front. We're proud of that.
Yeah.
We're proud of that. And overall, like I actually liked it a lot more than the one in Munich, because the one in Munich is just like, at this point, it's a spectacle. It's like a whole tourist thing. And I didn't really meet any Germans when I was at the one in Munich. And here,
you had more locals and stuff.
Yeah. Like, I think that we were some of the only people and these girls in front of us.
Traveling.
Yeah, that weren't German.
That's really cool.
And so that was really nice. And it felt just like a lot more authentic. And I don't know, the vibes were just so good.
Yes.
Everyone dancing on the tables. I was like, Lucy was at one point, I don't know what she was doing, but I was like, Lucy, I tapped her. I was like, we're dancing on the tables. Get up.
She's like, all right.
And she's like, all right, bet. And we did. It was super fun. So it was a great trip. And I feel like we must be back, and we'll go back with you.
Yeah, I'm excited to visit.
And what about your retreat, your off-site?
This was just like one of those things where like you're kind of contemplating why you're working at this place because of everything going on. And then you go on one of these trips and you're like, oh, this is why.
This is why.
This is why. Yeah. I take back everything I said. I'm super happy here. Yeah, we traveled down. Okay, actually, first I had like the morning from hell because I had a 6 a.m. train on Monday. So I'm in the Uber to get to the train station because it was like only $8. And I was like, I'm going to Uber if it's $8.
Yeah.
At like 5:30, and I look at my email and I get an email saying, oh, your train's 1 hour delayed. And I was like, no fucking way. Like, I could have slept more.
Yeah.
And then I get there and I was like, all right, we're waiting this out. And then, of course, 2 hours delayed. 2.5 hours delayed.
No, 2.5?
Yeah. And so I'm like, okay, well, like, I'm not going to make this train. Jesus. And it was delayed because of, technical issues. So I was like, it's probably just never going to leave.
Yeah.
So I bought a different ticket
my God.
to go to the same place, but like 2 hours later. So it was like 6 a.m. and I took the 8:30 train.
Yeah.
Time comes, 45 minutes delayed. I'm like, what the fuck is happening? Like,
SNCF has not been on top of their shit lately.
No, and I was so pissed. I ended up leaving at the same time as my work. So I could have just gone with them.
Lucy was coming up from the south the weekend before, and she said that her train stopped on the tracks, like in the tunnel for like an hour.
I don't know what's going on, but I was not happy. Yeah. I was so sleep deprived. I was like,
the good thing is that if your train is delayed by more than
2 hours,
you are eligible to receive compensation. So if you're ever traveling,
it's 50%. Yeah,
and
so I got $9 back because it was an 18 euro.
All right,
but no, it's still better than nothing.
Yeah,
like they try.
But then you arrived at a beautiful, beautiful estate.
Yes, I arrived. Like the gates open. You're like, what the heck? It's like this huge villa, like 20 rooms. Ocean view, a private like pathway down to the beach, a pool, a jacuzzi, like a bocce ball court, like a hammock area. Like it was just gorgeous.
And you guys were doing like what? You said 2 hours of kind of like team building stuff a day, and then the rest you're just like
we were looking at the schedule like so like can we have free time? Like what's going on? And then I'm like, oh my gosh, yeah, we have 2 hours of work each day, and then the rest is literally just fucking around, like doing whatever you want.
Yeah.
So the first day we did our team building, which actually was really good because it got us getting to know each other, how we best work together and by ourselves, and how you like work in conflict, etc. We had a private chef for the full 2 days, who was incredible.
Yeah, I bet.
Yeah. It was delicious. And then we went wine tasting together, and we got to take like a tour of the vineyards in Quincy, which are one of the oldest vineyards in like the south of France.
Oh, wow.
They specialize in white wine, but they also make a red, and I actually bought a bottle and brought it back because I thought it was really nice.
Oh, nice.
And then we just had, we were supposed to party that night, and like our company is like a huge party culture place. Yeah. But all of us were like, can we just like drink an herbal tea and go to bed? And we're like, well, so now we know we're not the party team.
Yeah.
And then the next morning, it was really nice. We did our 2 hours of work, like coming up with our OKRs for 2024.
Yeah.
For 2 hours, had lunch, and then went on a boat tour of the Calanque, which is the national park in the south of France.
They're stunning. You can do it by boat, or you can do it the way that Lucy and I did it, which is it's a hike, but it's really like a rock climb. And by climb, I mean like you sliding down rocks and like hoping that like catching onto a tree and being like, oh, okay, we're still here.
I'm not falling off a cliff.
Yeah. But they're gorgeous.
Really
stunning.
And like it's October and I went swimming. Like it was
And
such
the water was
nice,
still warm?
Yeah, it was such nice weather.
Actually, usually the Calanque, the water is super cold in the Calanque.
It was refreshing.
Okay.
But like I will jump into any body of water.
That's true.
But I went in with like our chief people officer and then like finally some people also joined us, but like we visited like a little cave together.
Oh, cute.
Some solid bonding time.
Yeah.
And then we had like a really fun karaoke night. Had like champagne and celebrated like our last day there.
That's sweet.
Hot tubbed with like the gorgeous sunset and view. It was really nice.
Sounds like a really nice place to work.
Yeah. I was like, I am very happy.
Oh my gosh.
Don't ask me anything.
Yeah. Well, perhaps we should talk about everyone's burning question about Paris right now. The bedbugs.
Yes. The bedbugs. Has media gotten to you?
Yeah. There's definitely a lot of fear-mongering going on. Yes. For context, this has been going on. First of all, I mean, it's a city, so there are always bedbugs. But this sort of like spike has been talked about in Paris since like July, because I remember like people talking about it when we were going to the Barbie movie in end of July. But basically after Fashion Week, the Anglophone press and media basically caught on and started writing about it. And that is when everyone starts texting me.
Because they're like, oh, you're going to bring it back to New York? Like, clean out your suitcases.
Yeah. And it's like always these, you know, model people come and they're like, Paris is so dirty. You know? Like, I feel like that just happens like every once in a while. And then it like...
And it blows something up.
Yeah.
But it has been like, I mean, on my train ride back from Marseille to Paris, our whole team was in like one of the train like cars.
Yeah.
And we were all freaking out. Like, do we sit down? I don't know.
Yeah.
Are there bed bugs? And everybody was like, oh my gosh, we're going to wash everything at 60 degrees at home.
Well, that was like last night we got on the metro and there were plenty of seats and we were like, we're standing. And then this other group of 3 people came on. They look at the seats and they look at us and they look back at the seats and we're all like, yeah, no.
Yeah.
And we all stood and we're like, it's just not happening. But basically like French news outlets are saying that the Anglophone news are kind of causing panic with sort of like alarmist reporting and a lot of this fear-mongering, causing like a psychosis or whatever. And
like to the point where our like Minister of Health came out and like spoke about this situation.
But it's funny because then like I saw the deputy mayor, he came out and he was like, well, you have to realize that like bedbugs have always been here. We're just talking about them now. And then at some point he was like, no one is safe. And I was like, are you trying to make us feel better? Like, this is just not.
But then the RATP, like the metro line, and then SNCF, which is our train lines, like they all came out with a quote that said like, no, like we're under control. There's no like found cases of bedbugs in our metros.
Meanwhile, people have like filmed them on TikTok. Like, crawling across the metro seats. So it's like a little, but it's obviously something that's very difficult to both quantify and qualify, like how bad it really is. Yeah. Because we don't really know, like hotels versus...
Is it worse right now?
Metro. Yeah. Is it worse? Is it, as the deputy mayor said, don't worry, they've always been here. Thanks so much. But people are comparing it to like New York City in 2010 when Bloomberg had to like name like a bedbug czar to like take care of the issue. And they're having some like ministerial meetings about it.
Which is so crazy.
Yeah.
Because like I have coworkers who are like, I am freaked out just because it's becoming like this huge scandal thing.
Yeah.
But like I put lavender oil behind my children's ears before they go to school so that they don't get lice.
Well, yeah. That's the thing people do.
Like, she's like, my kids have had 5 cases of lice this year.
Oh my God.
And it's because you're in a city, you know?
I hate lice more than actually.
I don't know about that. Lice are gross because they're like in your hair, but you can get rid of them way easier than bed bugs.
But apparently there are like around 1,500 to 2,000 French kids out of school right now because bed bugs have been found in the schools.
Oh,
so
I didn't know that.
There is a spike that's happening, but it's not something that you should like cancel your trip over.
Yeah.
I think that in general, just follow like usual precautionary travel tips. I mean, I do this no matter what, but don't put your luggage on the floor in a hotel or on the bed. Put it on like a luggage rack or on a chair.
When you get home, take off your shoes and like change out of your day clothes and put on
just
something
pop them
else.
In the wash. Even if you don't run the wash right then, just put them in there and close it.
Yeah, or you put them in like a plastic bag and seal it so they're not like hopping out.
Yeah, and people have been saying that if you're staying in a hotel, you can put your suitcase in a bathtub. Because I guess that is like a hard surface for them to climb up and then like you can see them.
They only climb on cloth surfaces.
There you go.
Yeah.
Voila. So, and then you can also like check, obviously, your mattress, the corners of your bed.
Yeah, all the seams.
They are visible to the naked eye. They're not like these tiny
just
things.
Not the eggs.
Just not the eggs. That's ooh.
Ooh.
I don't want to think about that. But yeah, if you're coming, we do recommend you skip the cinema. Try not to sit down on the metro seats. Other than that,
you're fine.
You're fine.
You're fine. Not something to cancel your trip over.
Yeah, indeed. What other updates this week? I actually picked up my new titre de séjour at the préfecture. Of course, I made a appointment for 12:30. Got there at 12:15. I didn't leave until like 2:30.
Of course.
There was actually this like poster, and it was like, our administrative services are easy and whatever and, accessible and blah, blah, blah. And someone had taken a pen and like crossed out the easy part. And then like, they're like, efficient. Someone crossed that out too. It's like,
true though.
Little like French, like,
I don't see any lies.
Yeah. So that was, they've definitely updated the way they do it, which I thought would make it faster. Like they checked our documents in the line before going into like the salle where you take like a number basically. Mm-hmm. But like when you sit down, like what are these people doing? Because it would take them, they would only like call a new number once every like 5 to 10 minutes.
Yeah.
And all you have to do is sit down and be like, yes, I'm here. Here's my old card. Give me the new one, sign a thing and walk away.
It's so easy.
It's so easy. I don't know what takes so much time.
It's freaking crazy. I also had my fill of administrative things happening this week because I had to go to the bank. I've been locked out of my bank for like a week and a half. And it's because I have to change. Like I used to live in the 11th and I moved to the 2nd and I never changed my bank location. Apparently you have to do that. So like once you move like districts or arrondissement, you have to change where your home bank would be.
Yeah.
So I made an appointment and they told me everything I needed before, like a proof of where you live and like, a bill to go with that, your ID, like a form that they give you at the bank and whatever. So, and you have to have the ID. Or so for me, it's a special case because I live with Jean who owns this apartment. So I'm not on like a lease or like on the, whatever. But yeah, so I had to have his physical ID with me as well. And so I get there and first of all, they don't have my name down for my appointment. Oh my God. So I was like, yes, my appointment's at 3:30. And they're like, the only person I have at 3:30 is this woman named Julie something something. And I was like, that's not me. So he was like, okay, well, I'll just take you up and we'll see. I was like, this better be like my actual account because like what the fuck's happening? Yeah. And so she comes and she sits me down and she's like, okay, so what's your name? Give her my name. She's like, oh yes, I have you here. Like you're not on the schedule. I was like, that makes sense. Like, wait, stay organized. And then she's like looking at me and she's like, oh, but you need this document. And like, oh, but you need this document. And
like they're excited to like catch you that you don't have something. They're like, ooh.
Like to send you home because you don't have everything. And I was like, well, I do have that actually.
Whips it out of the bag.
Yeah. And so this process took 2 hours just to get my freaking address changed so that I could get access to my bank. And so the weird thing, though, about France is, like, things are so much more casual. She had my information, like, everything, like, my savings, my checkings, like, on a screen in front of us. Okay. And then this person, like, walks in without knocking and was like, hey, how are you? Like, while we're in the middle of a freaking, like, meeting. Oh, my God. And she's like, oh, I'm good. Oh, my God, you look so good. Like, oh, I'll see you around. And I was like, all of my private information is on the screen. We're in a closed office and you just open the door to do that? That's wild to me. Yeah. That was super wild to me. And then, like, they had to have my last 3 pay slips because they needed to know, like, how much I make. I don't know why. But they, like, filled out all of this information. And, of course, because I'm American, that always stumps them because it's like I'm French American. So she's like, so you are American, but you don't pay taxes in the U.S., but you were born in the U.S. Yeah. But so how does this work? And like, what's your social security number? And I was like, why do you need my social security number?
I'm going through that with my bank too.
It's so crazy.
They're making me fill out, I don't know if, well, maybe they don't make you fill this out because you're also French, but there's some like tax form that they started implementing during the Trump administration because they were worried that Americans were like fleeing the country and like keeping all their money abroad. But they're making me fill that out before I can open a savings account. It's just like so silly, and it's taken forever, of course.
I mean, my savings is within my same bank, but I think there probably are better ones out there that you get like better percentages.
Yeah. Well, I also just opened an account with N26, which is like a neobank, and it is fantastic.
And then there's also a savings account where it gives you like 6%, but you can only put up to 10,000 in that account. So it's like you just have to leave it there untouched for however many years. It's very interesting in France. It's not like in the US where you do like a, Roth IRA or whatever.
Yeah.
But yeah, and she like made comments about my pay. She's like, "Oh, they pay really good where you work." And I was like, "Thanks. I don't know what to say to that. Like, none of your business." And she like couldn't understand what I do for work, and she just put like other because she just couldn't figure it out. And just was like asking me all of these personal questions about my work and like why I get paid that much and what do I actually do for my work.
Yeah.
Well, yeah. I was like, what the heck? And then I came home and I told Jean all this, and he's like, probably because you're like one of the richer people. And I was like, I make not even that much more than the median. And he's like, well, your bank's for poor people. And I was like, what the fuck? Jean. I was like, what does that even mean? Like,
oh my God.
So anyways, fun times at the bank.
Yeah. But today, officially, though this is Wednesday, the Fête des Vendages starts today.
Yes.
And we will be going this weekend because my mom is coming. And we're going to show her around up in Montmartre and walk around, try some wine.
Hoping that the weather is just as good as this week.
Yeah.
This past weekend was.
That would be incredible. So if you're in town,
highly
definitely check it out.
Yes. Go try all the different wines, champagne from the regions that surround Paris. There's also a bunch of food vendors. There's cheese. There's charcuterie, of course.
Yeah.
And then a bunch of just like tartiflette. So it's like kind of like the initiation of autumnal like food markets.
Yeah.
Where you get like all of the cheesy goodness.
Yeah. We can't wait for that.
Have a great weekend. Happy fall. We'll see you next week.
See you next week.
À bientôt.